All right, Mixed Masta B here for MMB Radio, the online podcast where no topic is too big, too small. We talk about them all, and I have a special guest on the phone lines right now, a woman that I've known for many years, and it seems like I've known her for longer than that, and people from the Philadelphia area are probably going to recognize the voice and the name. My sister from another mister, Miss Tosha Makia. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. How are you, honey?
Doing awesome. And like I said, people are hearing the name and the voice, and they're saying, well, I know who that is. So you've been all over the place with radio, but you've had a stopping in Philadelphia. So kind of tell us, where have you been? What have you been up to?
Wow. Okay, first of all, I got to apologize for the voice. I'm now located in North Carolina, and we fly out and do a lot of things, but the pollen count out here is at an all-time high, so I apologize if I sound crazy. But, wow. Man, thank you so much for having me. After I left Philadelphia, I came to North Carolina. I came here 2011, and I love North Carolina. I mean, I love Connecticut. I love Philadelphia, but I'm definitely in love with North Carolina. I've been here. I actually came down in March of 2011, and I was that gossip girl on the morning show for 102 JAMZ. And then just loved it, hosting lots of shows, just being the crazy, edgy girl that I pretty much always have been. And then from there, I had a little break that had happened out here where I couldn't walk for a while, so I was taken off radio for about 2 years. So that's what I've been doing. I still did radio, after leaving Philly, after leaving Sirius XM with Moni Love, I wound up coming out here and rocking with 102 JAMZ, and had a break because of a situation that happened with my back. So for that 2 years, I feel like I was upset when the station let me go. It was right before my back surgery. But I've never had any ill feelings toward them. I really believe that it was God's way of kind of taking me away for a little while. I did radio in Connecticut. Then I went to Philly, had my own night show. Sirius XM did so great, was excited. But I think he had something better for me and had to pull me away from it to humble me to pretty much get me better and refocus. And, man, it was hard, but it was the best thing that's happened to me. So, 106 pounds less later, here I am, still in North Carolina, but, back on the radio all over again.
Now, I was going to say, you were just mentioning 106 pounds lighter now. While you're going through this time, this transition, it was like a transformation Tuesday in real life. Like you actually, you started working out, you started getting better, you started connecting spiritually, started getting into better shape. Kind of take us through that process, because there was a period there where like you let go from the station, and it sounds like you were in a dark place for a while. How did you kind of lift yourself up out of that and get into where you are now?
No, it's crazy because when I left the station, it was 2 years. It was 2 days before my second year anniversary here, and I had a huge party lined up. I was seriously moved here, and I went to get off the couch, and my mom, she actually retired to help me, with my babies while we're all traveling, doing different things, helping people. I'm like, Mom, you maybe need to rest. I don't have no clue what you're talking about. I didn't hear anything, and it's on my body. But I did feel something a few days later, and then as time went on, I was no longer able to really walk. At the time, my daughter, now 18, my daughter Janasia, she was 16, she would have to help me shower. She would have to help me clean myself in the bathroom. Very, very humbling. And then I just became depressed. Now, mind you, radio out here, I still was making it to work. I still was doing all the things that I had to do. But I really wasn't, hosting the clubs and doing as much as I used to, because I was just in a different place. So when the station let me go, yes, I fell into depression. Yes, I thought about suicide. Yes, I wanted to give up. When I say it was bad, it was very bad. And one thing, when you have a back issue, I had bursitis in my left hip. I had two fractured two bulging discs and a fractured vertebrae. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm in my early 30s. Like, what the hell is going on? Like, this is not supposed to happen, but I mean, it can happen to anybody. So after time, I contemplated on surgery, and I was a little afraid because my doctor out here, who was an amazing doctor, he's in Winston-Salem, he was like, I think you might want to think about, let's do physical therapy, let's do these steroid injections into your back. And man, it was the hardest time for me. So then it got to a point where I felt bad. I started noticing things with my children, my little boys, London now 6 and Dylan now 4. They would ask, Mom, let's go play outside, and I had an excuse for everything. at the time I was on a radio show with Kyle and Dot, and they hit me up and say, hey, let's go do this. And, now getting dressed as a woman was a lot. Like, I would layer, and women that are listening right now that know what it is to have some weight on you, you layer, and you will make an excuse to not go out with your friends. And it's not that you don't want to, it's just that you just don't feel as comfortable, as you did at one time if you're not comfortable with your weight. And I just became depressed, and then my daughter was getting ready to graduate high school, and I didn't want to show up the way I was to her graduation. And it was either one day, honestly, I was in bed, and I thought to myself, it's either that bottle of Vicodin, or I can actually do something. And then my son ran in the room, and he was like, he kept singing, You're Gonna Miss Me When I'm Gone. Remember that Cup song? And I just thought maybe that was a sign from God, right? So I said, okay, I'm going to prepare myself mentally. I decided to have back surgery May 8th, 2013. And they were like, yeah, just in case, we're not saying you're a workout person. I mean, I was 243 pounds, B. Like, I'm 5'5". So he's just saying, I'm not saying you will work out, and I'm not telling you to work out. We just want to understand that. But if you do, you have to wait a year. And I thought to myself, he doesn't understand that I've been praying on this already. So if I really want this, I got to move my ass. You know what I mean? So May 8th, I had the back surgery. It was horrible, but it was the best decision I've ever made. I'm no longer on medication. I even went through a withdrawal from pain medications. I've never been a person to have an addictive personality, but I guess we never know until we're in these situations. You know what I mean? So I went through 3 days of hell with the withdrawal, and then I decided I was going to start doing something about my weight. Didn't know how, didn't know what to do, but I started at 15 minutes a day, maybe 3-4 times a week, and it was hard. Even if it was 15 minutes, I started moving. So my 243 went down to 240. And then when my 240 went down to 232, I thought, wow, this may work. And when I started readjusting my food, I kind of plateaued because I wasn't quite sure when it comes to food, but I found this shake, a meal replacement by a company named Visalis. And I actually believed in the shake so much because it helped me drop over 100 pounds with a transformation kit that I actually bought into the company. And so I am a part of the company now, and I love it. I love it. So here I am. I know the doctors told me one thing, but I took it slow. I took care of myself. I made sure, I paid attention to when building my back up and just, taking care of myself. And 106 pounds later, I pray that I'm inspiring other people and, not helping them to not see, to see that excuses are just, they're just pointless, So, yeah, that's pretty much what happened. The devil has been trying to take me down for the longest time in my life. And if I can do it through domestic violence, and if I can do it through, depression, losing my job, and if I can do it at an early age, a young age, then I don't think there's really any reason why anybody else can, push. And I beat high blood pressure. I had high blood pressure. My last son, Dylan, he's now 4. He was actually a high-risk pregnancy, and he was born about 6.5, 7 weeks early, and he was very tiny. So, a lot of the things when I sat back and I looked at it, I was like, the emotional eating is one thing I dealt with, and it's because of life, But unless you've gone through it, you really can't understand it. So I decided to become a certified personal trainer and help other women because it's not about being thin, it's just about being healthy. So it doesn't matter if you want to remain a thick girl because, here in NC, the men love the girls thick, and that's great. But, I want to make sure that I help people get healthy at least and maintain a healthy lifestyle. So that's what I've been doing. I know it's a lot, but I've been doing that. And I always believe the more positive you are, the more blessings will come your way. And my old boss from 102 JAMZ wound up calling me on my lunch break and saying, hey, remember we talked about part-time? And I thought, wow, he's just so awesome. He's an amazing man. And I said, well, no, I really don't, but talk to me, And I got a little refresher because I got spoiled not running the boards for a while, and I'm officially back on 102 JAMZ. Right now I'm just chilling. We're going to see where they're going to put me. I really can't say right now, but it's going to be an awesome, journey with the radio and doing what I'm doing and helping people. So I'm excited. I'm very excited about it.
So it sounds like you've been through a lot. I mean, that was a mouthful of what you've been going through. And the cool thing about it is there's a lot of people out there and saying, I can't do it. It's not me. I don't know if I can do it. But the one thing that I've kind of grabbed from what you're saying is there's not like a set goal that you have to reach. Like there's little small steps that you can take. Like everybody has a different situation, and you shouldn't have to compare yourself to someone else's situation and say, well, she did this in this X amount of time and lost this amount of weight, so I need to do that or better. So what would you say to those people out there that feel compelled by either society, peer pressure from other people, that they have to meet a certain goal by a certain time?
It's crazy because I remember growing up and, you see magazines and you're like, I want to look like her. But, those people, they're really well edited. I don't know, there's a lot of us that stick on social media. My mom loves Facebook. But I think at some point you got to really honestly, and not just say it, you really got to seriously mean it when you think, I really don't care what other people are doing. I really care about me. Because when we were younger, way younger, before we started thinking about, oh, my friend likes me because I do this, you really didn't care. You were just having fun. You enjoyed life. You got to somehow get back to that and really just focus on you. Like, before I started training, right before the depression hit, I remember looking at people's photos and I would be like, oh, gosh, she had a surgery. Oh, she did a quick fix. But now I understand, and it's something you definitely got to start walking. It's great to look at other people and say, it would be nice to have that or this, but don't compare yourself to somebody because you don't know what their battle was. And then, one thing I think that's beautiful is that each and every one of us have an amazing frame. Like, we were created as a work of art. So underneath all the layers, there's something beautiful. So though we can want and like or try to compare ourselves to somebody else, we have our own beauty. There's something just beautiful about every single one of us if we stop looking at others for, what is it called? For someone to pretty much say you're hot or you're it or you're amazing. Like, look to yourself. Look in the mirror. I think that if you just start slow, you'll actually see how beautiful it is. And all it takes is a few pounds. When that thing, I'm telling you, when that scale drops and you see you did that, you're really not going to be too concerned with someone else because I can care less what everybody else is doing in the fit world. I mean, I do check it out, but I never compare myself to them. I think that's awesome. I now that I've been training consistently for 2 years, I can't imagine, I can imagine what they went through mentally just to do this for a show, or I can imagine what this girl's doing because she just started. And kind of look at it differently. One thing I can say about training is it brought out this positivity in me that I remember I had as a teenager, and I'm in love with it. And I'm not messy. I'm not the gossipy girl. I'm very, very honest. I'm very, very happy with myself. And I can say this day, like, when I was doing radio before I was brought back this time, I wasn't happy. And though I was upset because they let me go, but who I was inside is what was projected, what I spoke about on the radio. So now it's just a different thing. So all you got to do is stop comparing yourself to other people and just start. I promise. It sounds crazy, but there's so many gifts that come along with your transformation that you'll say, that's what ToshaMakia was talking about. But it's something you can't buy. Like, you can go get lipo, you can get your, some fat move from your ass to here or whatever, but there's something that comes along with training that you cannot buy, that you can just feel, and it's the most amazing thing. So don't compare yourself to anyone else. Just do it. Just do it. That's the only thing you can do.
And one of the things that I could chime in as far as advice that I have, you see people on Facebook and you see people on Instagram and Tumblr and all these other things, and people want to compare themselves to these people.
Right.
But you have to remember that when these people are posting photos on their social media accounts, they're posting the best photos. So
right.
I feel like that there's some kind of, you're not seeing what they look like when they first wake up. Not everybody's Beyonce and they woke up like this. Like, not everybody's
not at all.
like that. So one of the things I say is, like, sometimes you have to scale back looking through the social media, through some of the gossip magazines, and stop comparing yourself. Stop trying to be the Kim Kardashians of the world. Start being you of the worlds,
Right.
And setting your own kind of platform of who you are and not trying to be a copycat of somebody else. So that's a really cool, positive message that you have going on. And I also know that you are you do a lot of stuff with domestic violence.
Yeah.
And that's a huge topic now because it seems like everywhere you go, there is some type of domestic violence thing. It all kind of started with the whole Chris Brown and Rihanna thing, and then you start having Ray Rice, and then you have all these other ones, and now you have DeAndre Johnson of Florida State, who recently punched a girl in a bar. It was caught on video. It seems like everybody's like, this is the new fad, but something's been going on for a while. It's just now that you're seeing high-profile people actually bringing it more to the forefront. So what is your take on all this stuff that's going on, all these younger guys out there who are hitting women for whatever reasons?
See, for me, I think, obviously, you know, I'm not sure if everybody listening has heard, but I was a survivor. I'm a survivor. I'm a victor, excuse me, of domestic violence. More so mental. There was a lot of physical. There was raping, but coming out of that, first of all, I'm over my pity party. I've had my pity party 10 years ago, and I'm over that. So I like to help young girls and women kind of see their worth. I think that if a lot more women saw their worth, a lot of this stuff would not happen. Going into relationships, there's nothing wrong with saying these are things that I'm going to allow, and make sure you're consistent at holding those things. If something uncomfortable happens, then you need to know when to roll out and don't think that, oh, okay, let me be passive. You have to have boundaries. And I'm not saying that for everybody, because there's a lot of women that do have boundaries and these things happen, but there's always something that might keep you there, whether it's afraid to start over, of being afraid of the person, that they might hurt you, children. There's always different things, but there's always a way to get out. I just think that it's kind of crazy. It's funny because someone actually asked me about, you know, a few of the people that you mentioned, and here we did a big interview with one of the newspapers, and the whole Chris Brown Rihanna thing, I thought that was always kind of weird to me, and I'm saying this as a person that, you know, is a survivor. That whole situation just never made sense to me. Yes, I like Chris Brown's music, but I'm not a person that's stuck on somebody because of that, and I would never take a side. But I don't think we ever really heard the full story with that one. I'm not sure why, but I think something in that car, whatever happened, was a bit more than what we know, and I think Chris kind of took the rap for that one. That's just Tasha's opinion. But with a lot of others, I think that, you know, we got to know our worth as women. And I remember when I was in my situation, I was afraid. I know that one of my brothers were confronted by my abuser and supposedly threatened, you know, what I've heard. And then this person that I was once with, he threatened to murder my mom and to take my daughter from me. So, yeah, it was scary. I didn't know my worth from a hole in the wall. So I just thought, if I'm still here with him, you know, and he sees that I'm worth it and that I'm great, you know, hopefully he will see my worth, because I couldn't. And, you know, one day changed, and 15 years later, after being raped when my daughter played in the next room, and after being, you know, emotionally broken because he knew my dad wasn't in my life, and that's a fact. If anything, my stepmother, who was amazing, actually did more for me than my father probably has ever done. And she's amazing. I thank God for her every single day. But, you know, I think that we definitely got to know our worth. And right now, that's what I'm doing. No matter what state I travel to, I immediately look up, you know, a domestic violence center, some type of a place that's not just a shelter, but some type of a place that actually helps, that has to do with the state. So here, I don't work for them. I do it because I promised God I would do it if I ever got out of mine. And it's family services. And what they do is they can actually help you, if you're in a situation, disappear. New Social Security number, new start, job training. But you have to make sure you're not going to look back. That's the thing. So right now, the last person that I helped get out of a situation was actually my best friend, Tanika Joyner. And it was really hard because I've never thought that she would be going through something like that with someone that she was working with, someone that we were very close to. And right now, you know, they're going to trial, so there's a lot of things that to mention, but she was actually number 70. And so I've been doing this out of my pocket. I've been meeting women at the police station or the grocery store or Walmart parking lot just to kind of get them the information and get them free. And I thank God for being able to do this even in my pain. But, yeah, I mean, I'm just traveling and trying to help people know their worth, because I think, to be honest, like with reality TV, you know, when we were growing up, we knew that scary movie was that scary movie on TV. We knew that this soap opera on TV was on TV. But because they put the name reality TV, we really believe that it's real when it's really scripted. And I think people take from that and think that's how they're supposed to allow men to treat them, or women, because women do the same thing to men. One of my guys that I actually helped was from out here. And he was actually a big-time person that people knew and never knew that he was going through this situation. I actually assisted him in that, too. Thank God for him trusting me. But, you know, I think that we can't separate, you know, the fake from the real, and we really got to get it together because, you know, what's on TV is what's on TV. But what happens in our life, we got to remember we have smaller people watching us, and there's a big possibility that they can recycle and do the same thing we have done. You know what I mean? So it's worse.
Now,
you got to know, and honestly, know your worth.
One of the white hot topics right now is where women feel that they can physically, you know, do harm or try to do harm to somebody and not expect any kind of retaliation. And people have different opinions each way. Some people are saying you should never hit a woman, but somewhere, and I feel like this is in the inner cities, it's kind of like it's a cultural thing where a lot of them feel like they can just, you know, hook off on a dude and expect that he's not going to touch them. And then when a dude does retaliate or defends themselves out of pure emotion at the time, that they're labeled as the bad guy, or they're blacklisted from doing anything, or they're being put in incarceration. Like, what is your opinion on that?
See, I don't think it's just happening in the urban world. I think it's happening everywhere. Abuse doesn't have a particular race. It's happening in the homes that we think have it all. Have it all, like the best of everything. And in my opinion, I do not think it's right for any man to hit a woman, and I don't think it's right for a woman to hit a man. But there is a point where if a man has never touched this woman and she is doing something, you got to get shook it up a little bit. You know what I mean? I'm not saying, yes, go shake her up. If he can walk away from it, then cool. But see, it's funny because, no, not cool. I'm not saying for him to hit her, but that's how I feel about the Chris Brown and Rihanna thing. I feel like something in that car happened where she might have done something. And again, I'm not saying it's right, but the bumps on her head were kind of odd. It just didn't make any sense to me. So, no, I don't think it's right for a man to hit a woman. If a woman is hitting a man, I mean, do you think that he's going to continue to allow you to hit him? I just think that people need to keep their damn hands to themselves, because then you're messing it up. And then this woman who's probably never been abused by this guy, now he's going to jail and messing up his career or whatever he's doing because this one time she got hot-headed. And then what happens? They probably will get back together. I mean, we really need to get it together. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you don't know your worth, you allow this stuff to happen. It's toxic relationships, and they're not going to get better. They're just not.
Now, tell me a little bit now about this company where it says for children who, with every 10 pounds they drop, you help feeding children. Like, kind of take us how that works.
That's ViSalus. Okay, so ViSalus is a meal replacement company, and they have everything and everything. If you're interested, you can check it out at ToshaMakia.bodybyvi.com. Pretty much, it's an amazing shake. And I have to say this, I've tried a lot of different shakes, and they taste like dirt or a plant or, I don't know, like branches. Like, it's just disgusting. They always have that weird aftertaste. So I've tried everything, and I'm like, I finally gotten to a point that I'm just going to eat healthy. But when I first started training, I didn't know what to eat. So I tried the shake, and when you open the bag, it smells like vanilla cake, and it tastes like vanilla cake. So it's something you replace 2 meals, with during your day, and then pick a meal that you can have fun with your family or whatever. But for every 10 pounds you drop with the shake or any of the kits on the site, you are feeding children anywhere in the world. I mean, you can also, once you drop your 10 pounds, you can also, pretty much choose where the foods are going to go. And they feed children with these foods, with these kits, which is awesome. There's cereal, there's cookies, there's juices, there's Neon. Neon is a new hot thing. Chris Brown and Christina Milian, they've all had them in videos. And it's an all-natural energy drink that's amazing. It glows, but it's all natural. All natural. You can mix it, with different things. If you have a black light, it glows. But for every 10 pounds you lose with any ViSalus product, you are feeding children. So with me losing 106 pounds, I believe I fed over 1,000 children. It's amazing. So when you don't have the motivation or you feel like, what do I do today? Just remember, for every time you push yourself, you're actually helping to feed children in the world that don't have the things that you have. Or, you know, if you got off your butt, you can actually help feed some children. So it's an amazing company. It's definitely an amazing company.
I'm totally down with that. If it means me getting in shape and losing weight and plumping up some other kid with the weight that I had, like, I'm all for that. You know, so
I love that.
So you just made 1,000 kids that much more, you know, well-rounded, and at the same time you're losing weight and making yourself healthy. So
yeah,
I'm all
feeling
about
amazing.
that. So
I love that. We would definitely talk about that.
So, as I mentioned, you had a stop here in Philadelphia, and a lot of people were tweeting into me when they heard that you were going to be on the show. And what is something that you just miss about Philadelphia? Like, a lot of the fans here are like, oh, I miss Tosha. I used to listen to her every night. What's something that you miss about Philadelphia?
You know, it's funny. It's been 2011, I left 2009 on radio, and I love Philly. I mean, Connecticut, I was born and raised there. I'm always going to have love for Connecticut. Philadelphia gave me back my life. And it's not just the feel, it's the love for music, it's the love for sports. It's just Philly is so alive, and the people are just so amazing. And it was my first time, you know, actually having my own show, and all the mess ups on beat, all the mess ups me and Shipra had on air, they still embraced us. They still made us feel amazing, and there's nothing I don't miss about Philly. I mean, there's everything. There's the food, Tootsies, Miss Tootsies. I miss everything. The people, North Philly, Strawberry Mansion, everything. Like, Philly was just everything. I cannot wait to come back. But I've been talking to some people out there about radio, and who knows? But man, I miss everything about Philly. Cheesesteaks. Oh, them cheesesteaks put on an extra 20 pounds when I first moved out there, but I miss everything. I miss my promoters out there. I miss, you know, even though we were on one station, I still do miss my friends on, you know, the opposite station on Power 99 and, you know, WDAS. Like, Philly will always be home. Philly gave me my life back. It was actually the place I came out with and said, hey, you know, I'm being abused. And that's when I actually gave it to Philly. It's the first time I actually cried on the radio. But there's so much. I didn't mean to say there's nothing I miss about Philly. There's so much I miss about Philly. When I think about Philly, it's just goosebumps everywhere.
Well,
who knows? Maybe one day I'll be back home.
Yeah, we hope that you come back. We've had, you know, Moni Love's back here on the radio. You know, Elvis Silk is back here on the radio. So, you know, a shout out to Colby Kolb, who's doing a lot of things, pulling a lot of strings, making a lot of
Colby's awesome.
Making a lot of classic, you know, Philly radio moments happen again. I'm hoping for Radioactive to come back. If we can get Radioactive back on the radio. I'm aging myself now, but I grew up on that Radioactive. So if we Colby, if you're listening to this podcast, I know you're a boss. Please make something happen.
Colby's awesome.
Make this happen. Bring Tosha back to Philly, you know? I mean, shout out to North Carolina, but yeah, you got to bring the girl back to Philly. So
man, the one thing about Philadelphia is that when they know good stuff, they keep it in their heart, and I always love Philly, always.
Well, we appreciate you coming on and talking to us. Let people know where they can reach you at online. For the people that are listening to this that are, you know, want to have lost touch with you or lost contact with you, how can they interact with you on, like, social media or websites and all that stuff?
Absolutely. Anything on social media. My daughter's getting me hip with everything, so I've been on the Snapchat. I am addicted to it. Do you have Snapchat, B?
You know what? Funny quick story about Snapchat. Somebody has my damn name on Snapchat. Somebody is using Mixmaster B on Snapchat. I had to reach out to Snapchat and be like, look, I have to provide them with documentation that it's a trademark. Right? It's a trademark name. I'm like, I don't know who this dude is. I can't contact them because I don't have a Snapchat, and I can't see what they're doing, but hopefully they're not, you know, misinterpreting, you know, who I am.
Right, who you are, your brand. We need to start like a petition, a Snapchat petition on that. That's not cool.
Yeah, I stole Snap. They're like, well, it's a first come, first basis. You know, somebody, you know, takes name. I'm like, no, you don't understand. Like, this is, like, I paid money for this name, dude.
Right,
like,
right.
This isn't just, you know, I woke up, it was just like, I'm Mixmaster B. You know? I mean, it did kind of work that way, but I did have to fill out paperwork later, so.
Right.
You know, but I'm really getting big into the Periscope. So people, if I don't know if you do Periscoping yet.
I've never heard about it, but I will buy it as soon as I hang up.
Get your daughter to get into Periscoping. It's you do like a live feed broadcast, and you do it right from your phone.
Right.
So like it'd be really cool if you're out and about somewhere. Like I'm gonna be Periscoping.
Yeah.
Next week I'm gonna be in New York City, so people can see me. I'm gonna be Periscoping from the Statue of Liberty and all that kind of stuff. So it's gonna be crazy.
That's awesome.
But
she just keeps me up to date with everything because I'm running so much. She's like, Mom, you got to do this. Update this. Your Twitter's old. Update this. So I'm on Twitter. I'm on Snapchat. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I love Instagram. I definitely love Snapchat. I'm on Vine. Like every single different thing for social media has a different audience. So I'm on everything at Tosha Makia. It's ToshaMakia. It's one name. And, hit me up. Let's talk or follow each other back and just keep up with the journey. I'm just helping people, besides being back on radio, I'm just helping people get in shape and feel better about themselves and know their worth. So it'll be awesome.
Well, I really appreciate you talking to us. I feel like this is so long overdue, to be able to talk to you. And I'm happy that we actually were able to get it done now where you actually have a message. And it's not just two people just, chit-chatting about music and, celebrity and pop culture and all that stuff. Like, you actually had a message and you brought it today.
Thank you.
I hope that people will take something from this, even if it's just a slither of it, and actually run with it. And just to show that, stuff can happen if you just, apply yourself. So we really appreciate you. Philly misses you, and we hope to hear and see you back here in the Philadelphia area real soon.
Of course. Thank you so much, honey. I appreciate it so much. Philly, I love you. Always, para siempre. Thank you so much.
All right. Talk to you.
Bye, honey. Hey, what's up? It's your girl, Tosha Makia. Right now you're listening to my honey, Mix Master B on MMB Radio.